on here. Okay, let me stop my preview over here. Something crazy is going on my. Never seen anything like it before. My preview over here on my laptop of my live stream, it's saying you are live just like usual, and the lapse time, instead of saying, normally I sit there and I watch, and when it hits 10 or 12 seconds I start talking after I've got the intro music playing. Well, it started out with a negative time, 59 minutes, and it was above 59 minutes, and now it's going down. It's going down towards zero. Never ever seen that before. I don't know that there's a setting. You can't click on it. You can't do anything to it. I'm going to try reloading the page. I hope they haven't fixed something that wasn't broke. It worked perfectly before. It can tell you how long you've been going. That's all you need. Now it's counting backwards. Maybe it's some kind of, it could be they did some sort of update to something and it broke something. It's still doing it. Oh man, that's weird. That's going to throw me off. I do depend on it quite a bit. I'm going to close the web browser, open it back up when I need to see it again. Maybe it's just something weird in the browser, and I can't imagine it being anything but something on the website, though, the code in the website. And I just clicked when I opened it up a while ago, and they're always popping up that thing. How well do you like it? How many stars would you give live streaming? And I gave it 4 or 5 or whatever the max is. I need to take a star off of that till they fix it. Okay, I'm actually back after 4 days or so. Let's see. Go up here on the desktop for a second. That's what I was fixing to do anyway. So, yeah, on the 16th, I believe it was, I got on a sidetrack, and I just got it finished, completely finished. I'm up. I'm not up early. I'm up. This is late for me. I've been up since about 10 o'clock last night. So 53 a.m. I think I'm already tired, and I'm just getting started with this. But of course, I've been doing other stuff all night. But anyway, somebody was wanting me to. A guy that gave me these computers, Jeff. He was asking me if I would. I still have a lot of my old gear, my sound gear, and I have my TAC cassette deck, and he had a cassette tape that he wanted to convert to CD, put it on a CD, and that's not a trivial task. Back whenever I used to do stuff like that, last time I did a bunch of things like that, burning CDs and stuff, was my own music that I was building my albums in 2005, and so I haven't done really much of anything like that since then. Like burning CDs and stuff. CDs are, if I want to listen to music and stuff, I always do it on the computer or something. I have some phones now. I'm using them as cameras. I don't listen to music on them or anything. I can't stand sound, things sticking in my ear, and I can't stand to wear my big headset for very long. My mixing headset. I get what they used to call it stereo. Well, stereo ear is just where you just get to where you've been mixing for a long time and you can't discern whether anything's any good or not anymore. I get tinnitus real bad. I always have tinnitus, but my ears start ringing so loud they compete with what I'm listening to, and I get irritated. And I can't stand it anymore. And anyway, so I was that way I picked one of my favorite. I decided, okay, I'm going to practice because I hadn't done it so long. So I got one of my old cassettes that I don't have a CD of, and decided I would, digitize it. And so it wasn't all. Actually, it had some strange variations in the volume that I think's on the tape itself. I actually don't think I verified that, but it was in one of what I recorded, and so I ended up fixing it. But I listened to it 1,000 times, sections, trying to double check. And the hardest part was I used Audacity. That's pretty easy, the audio software. I wasn't going to go into this, but I'll go into it a little bit. I'll just show you what I got on here right quick. See, I think I'm on my camera. Let's get on the desktop and stay there until we need to do something else. That's what I'm wanting to do anyway to start off with. There's Audacity. I'm not going to open it, but That's really powerful, but easy to use. I think audio software. You can do more than 2 tracks, but all I needed was two. And really, and then this one here's all the DAWs. Adore is the one I caught on to. I like it. It's not just super. It's not like just get in there and start working with Audacity. If you know anything about digital audio, then you can probably just use Audacity right off the bat. Adore, it took a little bit to figure out how to set it up and get it to work. You have to use Jack, but it starts jacking all the right stuff for you. Does all the connections for you. Jack audio server. Non-mixer might be all right. There's a whole bunch of different things it can do. I've tried quite a few of them. There's one that actually this one here, I saw it when I was looking for other things the other day. I was looking for while I was doing all this. It's real easy, but it doesn't make any sound, and I think I remember using it before, and I don't remember uninstalling it, but it wasn't installed, and so I tried it out for five minutes, and I didn't get any sound, so I think it's probably in the jack audio connections. But it's pretty easy. It would be easy if you can get if it's not too hard to get the sound working. But anyway, Audacity, you can once you record you just get it up, get it recording, and then just let it run until it records your whole whatever you're trying to record, But then in order to, when you go to burn your CD, you're just going to get one long track, of the whole album, and that's pretty, you don't like. You want to be able to skip around. That's one of the coolest things about CDs. I love music on tape. I was taping music. I taped back long before there was such thing as a VCR. I used my reel-to-reel. Actually, I don't know. Now I don't remember. No, it wasn't my reel-to-reel. I started out with the reel-to-reel. When I was a little kid, starting somewhere between 6 and 8 years old, I asked for a reel-to-reel tape recorder, for Christmas and stuff. And I had 2 of them. One wore out, and I got another one. And then I got a realistic cassette recorder when they came out. That's what I used to record a David Bowie concert off the TV, and the Midnight Special TV show came on at midnight on Friday or Saturday night. And I recorded that, and it was great. I could listen, and I had to stick. We didn't have a full console TV. We had a portable TV, so I had to stick the mic over there close to it and record it. But actually, it was surprisingly good for back then, for doing it that way. And I actually knew how to wire into speakers and get some speakers back in those days. They were not much. You could wire straight into the speaker wires. It was not much more than a line level signal, and you could. Because it wasn't things weren't high wattage back then, and you could plug them into your cassette recorder, but I couldn't do it on that TV because it's too hard to get apart, and I didn't want to get in trouble for tearing up the TV. So this is what I'm gonna do when I quit jabbering. So anyway, I went blank. Why was I talking about that? I knew I shouldn't start talking about this. I'd go on forever. So, yeah, I've always, since I was a little kid, been into recording everything, sounds and sound effects and music and stuff. And I have 2 albums that I recorded with. Most of the recording was really done by a talented friend that I have named Marty Splon. And I guess I'll just go ahead and get on the website here. We did our first recordings in 1992, and I sang and I wrote the lyrics. I used to write poems. I still do once in a while, write poems and lyrics. And he had an ADAT, and he had a real high quality cassette recorder. And this is the first album we did. We just recorded some stuff and then I put them together in an album. And so you can go here to my website, DonsSongs.com. There. Am I still on the camera? Well, yes, I am. I said I was going to stay there. And now we're on my website. Let's go back to here's my website, DonsSongs.com. So if you click on the album covers, is a quick way. There's a couple of links in there too, but you can go down here to the links, and you can just right-click and save as the songs, or you can just click on them and play them. And depends on how your browser's set up. How it's going to work, but it's too loud for me. If I turn it down, I don't know if it gets quieter in the video or not. I think it might. I do know that you can hear that. So anyway, if you want to check them out, you can download the music for all of our songs for free. And I did some songs with Marty Splon and another guy named Steve Bryan. Some of them we recorded, me and Steve, in this Dawn Songs. I called it Dawn Songs 002 because 02 is when I put it together. Plus, I thought it was kind of funny. It's kind of like 007, less than 007. So I think I'd seen a 007 movie during that time or something. And this one, in 2005 album, me and Marty, we did we recorded on his Mac setup with computer, Mac PC setup. And the same thing, you can just right-click and download them. And but Marty's a fantastic musician. He plays everything on all these songs, and he played on the other one. Some of the that was the first one I played a little bit of. That was Marty too, and then some of the others are Steve. This is one with Steve and me. A little bit heavy on the compression on his guitar there, but we did that live. We were just kind of, jamming, I guess you'd say, or not necessarily rehearsing. We didn't have a band or anything, but we would just turn on the recorder and play and sing. And I didn't make up the song. I had the lyrics, my song books that I would sing out of and stuff. But that's how we did it. Now with me and Marty, we were recording to make an album, But with Steve, those ones with Steve, we were just messing around. We were serious. We weren't just messing around. But anyway, we were hoping we'd do good. But that's not what I'm making a video about. That's what I'm off sidetracking about. What I'm going to make videos about, I may go back when I actually go and dub that tape or for Jeff, or when I do another one maybe, and especially just to make a video with. He may come over and we may sit here and talk. We haven't seen each other in a while. He used to be my neighbor. And if he does come over and we visit, then, I won't try to make a video. But so much more complicated. It's complicated enough just to do that. But dividing, the whole thing I was saying about in Audacity, dividing things up to get your tracks, that was a learning curve. And that's what I'd want to make a video on, is what I learned about that. So I'm going to get back to working on my mom's PC upgrades, operating system upgrades. I think I'm still on the fence about, I'm not 100% whether I want to, I'm going to check my stream while I'm talking. I'm not 100% whether I want to upgrade our hardware, whether we need to, whether it's actually needed. Fedora, Linux in general is not bad about, operating system bloat, but little by little, year after year, they bloat. Everything does. So it's not, I wouldn't call it bloated, but they do consume more resources. Just the whole process of, making things do more, and I don't know how to explain it because I'm not a programmer, but I've taken a Python programming class, and that's still, the timer is still counting down backwards. It worries me. It makes me think, okay, is it telling me that I got an hour and then it's going to quit on me? That's what it makes me think. It started at about an hour and it's going backwards. I haven't seen any notices from YouTube saying you can't stream longer than an hour anymore, or anything like that. So I hope not. Well, that'd be terrible for me. But that's what it makes you think, is that that's how much time you got left to go, But I suppose if it quits streaming at 0, I'll find out, huh? Of course, I could start another one, I suppose, but if they made a big change like that, I think they would send out a bunch of notices and everything. So anyway, it's really weird. I hate things like that throw me off. It's just something that's so weird and wrong. It just makes me. I can't think about what I'm doing. So I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave that up so I can check it. But also, I want to see what I want to see what happens when it gets to 0. So sorry. Okay. Okay, I believe everything's working. I had to go check it one more time. Let's see. So there's 2 ways I can go. Okay, Fedora is my favorite for sure. Linux operating system, my favorite operating system. Period. And well, Linux is the operating system. Fedora is the distro. The distribution. So, I don't know. That's how they. There's distro. Everybody calls them distros. Distributions, distros. And then there's remixes of distros too, like things that are based on Fedora or things that are based on Debian. And for instance, this is a remix of Fedora. This is Fedora Jam KDE Desktop Live, and I've got it here in VirtualBox, and I'll go ahead and boot it up. I'm going to go through a few of these. That's what in the process here of deciding. I'm gonna look. I've looked through this before. Now, when you boot up to a Fedora CD like this, a live CD, it defaults to test this media. Maybe if I use my mouse, you can see what I'm talking about. I can't hardly tell where you're at. And, you don't want to test the media every time you boot up, so you want to switch. I clicked on the top one, and it tells you about your mouse, and how the interaction with the mouse and all that. Actually, that's all it did. It didn't. When you're first booting up, you can't use your mouse. It hasn't started working yet. So use your up and down, go up to the top, start Fedora Jam 2027. And this is a remix with audio, all the bunch of cool audio software. I think I captured my mouse. There it goes. I was afraid I had captured the mouse and wasn't going to be able to use it. Some of them, once you capture the mouse in the virtual machine, you can't. You got to hit keyboard keys to get it back out. But most of the new ones you don't. It's automatic. Wherever you put the mouse, it works. So see, now it's booting up, and it's in a smaller resolution when it boots up, and then it'll be once it boots up, it'll be maybe not full 10. I'm going to say 1024 by 768, but that's not right. Whatever my resolution is, 1920 by something. It'll be well, it'll fit. I have it set to fit within this window, and then if I want to go full screen, I can, which I may do here in a second. But let's get it booted up first. And boots up pretty quick. I think the more, I don't remember seeing that before, that little odd little characters there. The more, I booted it up once or twice, but this is KDE Desktop. Now, I wouldn't install this for her. I wouldn't install it for me either. I would just install it with Mate Desktop and then install all these apps. There's a way you can, well, I made little scripts. There's commands you can look up on, all over the place, but go to the Fedora, website to get the right. Make sure you get it right, and then you can copy and paste it. You can copy and paste it in the command line, or you can make your little script. That's what I do, so I can just run it anytime I want, real easy. But I'll just install all the everything that's in this mix. I can install it onto any Fedora system. Any one new enough. If you try to install it on an older one, then the apps wouldn't all be in the repos, or the versions of the apps wouldn't be in the repos. Maybe all the apps would be. Anyway, make sure you match your versions, at least within like say the stuff on Fedora 26 would most likely all install on 27, 28 maybe not, like that. And 27, you try to install all its apps on 26, I don't know, you'd probably get most of them. So I think it's finished. No, not completely, because this is KDE. It should have some, there we go. It should have a whole, it's not going to be like Genome 3 wired connection. Of course, this is virtual, but it gets your networking going and everything. Now, let's see. If I can go to full screen without host control F. Host plus F. What is host? I forgot what the host key is. So it says host key. That's the thing that really can throw you off. You can get stuck and can't get back out. Get down here to these little deals and it'll tell you what they are. Indicates the activity of the optical drives. Floppy. There's no floppy on this machine because that's why it's grayed out. Network. USB. Yeah, I don't have any USBs. You can connect your physical USBs. You can connect to them in a virtual machine, and most of them anyway. Shared folders. I have some shared folders set up to share with VirtualBox. And display. I have video. I got 32 megabytes given to the virtual machine. I don't only have 256 megabytes on this machine, so I can't give it much. What's that? Video capturing activity isn't disabled. I didn't know there was. I don't pay much attention to that stuff. I'm just showing it because I'm on here. Feature status. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Indicates whether the host mouse pointer is captured by the guest OS. Oops. Where'd it go? There. I was trying to go look at it, but if you move the mouse, it goes away. Yeah, it doesn't say what the host key is. Whether the host keyboard is captured. Oh, I think that. Yeah, shows the current assigned host key. Right control. Yeah. Oh, it's just, that's right. It usually is control. And I'm using my mouse, so a lot of times I would go in VirtualBox, I'd go change it to left control so that I could do it easily. But yeah, that's fine. Right control, I can do that. I can pick up my hand and put it on right control. It won't kill me. Okay, I just want to make sure I can get. If I did have to use a keyboard shortcut, I'll make sure I can get out of the full screen. You shouldn't. Host F. Yeah, so it would be right control and F. There we go. We switch to full screen mode. You can go back to the window mode at any time by pressing Host F. Okay. Let's do a screenshot of that. Make darn sure I don't forget it. And note that the host key is currently defined as right control. Right. Okay. And note that the main menu bar is hidden in full screen mode. You can access it by pressing Host Home. Oh, the main menu of VirtualBox. Okay. Now, see, but there's also the graphic way to do it up there. Sometimes it depends. Sometimes well, I guess it depends on the app. I don't know. It seems like even in VirtualBox I've gotten hung before. It may have been on the, I don't know, version of VirtualBox you're in or something. But see, like you go to View and say, there's full screen, scale mode, auto resize, so and so, so and so. So I can get out of there that way. Or I think that'll take you in and out of there too. Exit full screen. That would close close the virtual machine. So yeah, we're good. So there you go. This is what it looks like. Fedora 27 KDE. Now KDE is set up like seems to be a little slow to respond there. Set up like Windows 7, or actually Windows 7 is set up like KDE. KDE did this at least 3 years before Windows 7 came out. So anyway, and you can change them around. I don't know, it's harder for me in KDE because I don't use it much, but this sure looks different. That's one thing I don't understand about the newer Linux operating systems. They've gone away from the beautiful 2D and 3D look and gone to this flat, ugly, see, black and white, just little squares and stuff, and little just, like kids' drawings instead of the nice. See, they still have the pretty icons. Of course, those have always been around. At least they still have those. And one thing I don't like about it is these are so non-descriptive. Some of the icons, I know what they mean when I see them. I have a hard time remembering that. I'm always saying that. That says favorites, applications, computer history. If the words weren't under there, I wouldn't have a clue as to what that is. Leave. That does not look. That little circle with a left bracket thing in it. It doesn't look like a leave to me. It looks like a clock. Those both look like a clock. And if you just have, you know, a little bit more of a drawing, you know, a little bit better looking graphics, you can actually get some idea of what it is. Like all those folders. I know those are folders, you know. They look like folders. So I'm graphing. But that's part of what I'm doing here. I'm getting a look at it. And I know I don't want KDE because I just don't like the way it works and everything. And it doesn't seem to use actually as much resources as it used to around Fedora 14 and all. It really doesn't. But you can see it's a little slow in my virtual machine. But it does work surprisingly well. The search is gone, though. I was saying that, you know, there's always been a search box in KDE, and it's gone. That's no good. I was fixing to click on this and start searching for, you know, different types of apps, but you can't. I don't get that at all. Why would they get rid of the search? Well, the search was a bit heavy on the resources. When it first came out, well, most of my machines couldn't run it. You couldn't use it because it would slow them down too much. But it got better over the years, and it quit using as much resources. But okay, you had to click. I'm used to if you just hover over the menus, they expand, but I had to click on it. But anyway, all these there's a lot of cool apps, and this is how I found a lot of the apps I use in my audio and video stuff in Linux is by these audio video distros. And there's Jack right there. Probably should be a bunch of stuff. Yeah, there's all kinds of everything to do with the Jack or that works with Jack, like a drum machine, H2 hydrogen drum machine. I don't know why it's really in the Jack menu. It's its own app. It's been around for a long time. But it's not a Jack app like Jack Control and Jack and ALSA perceptual audio analyzer and all that stuff. But anyway, we went somewhere. Oh, I accidentally put my mouse over that. I don't like. That's one reason I don't like those kind of menus like that. All you need is one menu that shows everything, and then a search bar. You don't need any of that other stuff. So all it does is just jump around on accident. So anyway, I can't believe did they really get rid of that search, or am I just not seeing it? There it is. Right there at the top. It used to be at the bottom. So now it changed to something else, and I can't type. It went away. That is the most hideous looking person drawing I've ever seen. I don't know if they're trying to go back to the days of the very first animations or something. That's what it kind of reminds me of the early 1900s cartoons. There, it came back. There, okay. There we go. Yeah, it's pretty slow to respond. Well, at least it's still there, though. Okay, now, see, this is what comes with it. Sometimes these searchers don't always find every app that's got to do with audio, but they're pretty good. I don't use the KDE one, may be a little better or a little worse than the XFCE app finder. That's the one I use all the time. I use it with XFCE and I use it with May too. Super Looper. If you like to make loops, audio loops, but Fedora I like. I'm still learning how to use it, but I have successfully done some well, I got one set up and then just kept recording, making a long recording with just a 2-track recording with, you know, I just kept going, making it longer and longer and adding stuff to it, just testing. But I haven't done any multi-track with it. But I've done quite a bit with Adore. I like generally what I end up doing is trying to fix audio that's messed up, and it's really powerful with that. Since I can't play any instruments or anything, I can't record all by myself. I mean, I can, but I'm not going to, you know, I could sing a cappella, but that never sounds good. You just can't sing right without music. I can. So, anyway, hit the escape key and go back to the beginning there. That's what this one looks like. And if you see with these live distros right there, that's usually always on the desktop, and you just click on that to install the hard drive. And like I said, you can rearrange it and make it look the way I like it, like Mate. But you know, I'd put this up on the top, and all this would be on the top, and then on the bottom we'll just have my apps that are go over here. Be like this. See, all my drop down menus drop down instead of popping up, and then with Mate you don't have a built-in. If there is one that you could add to it, I don't know of it. But so I just use XSCF Finder just like that. See, that's way faster, and that's even still with VirtualBox running. But I've got too many things so I made a screenshot. That right there, every image you get in, I like that shutter screenshot, but I always close it, manually close it, because every image you get in there uses up however much memory that image is, and they add up fast. So I always take them out of there, don't leave them in there as a preview, and you can't set it to not leave them in there either. I mean, if you just say like keep the last 2 or 3, it'd be fine. But I mean, if you get 20 or 30 of them in there, it'll bring my machine to a halt. So I'm going to shut it down. Let's see. Oh yeah, I remember where I saw that leave. Click there. Shut down. That's just the ugliest. That's not even icons. It's just, I could draw that. If I could draw it, it ain't no good. It's like you took have some protractors and things that my dad excuse me. My dad just studied mechanical drawing back in the that's what they called it before they called it drafting, before they called everybody that did that an engineer. I don't know, but anyway, what's it saying? Yes, I want to leave. He studied mechanical drawing in the actually they called it that when I was in junior high too, in the 50s, and he just studied it in the 50s, 60s, actually maybe the 40s, because I was born in 1956, so I think he studied it in high school in the 50s. That's not doing anything. He said okay, and it won't do anything. I think it took the cancel. Well, here's what you can do. You can just say, click that and say power off the machine. It won't hurt a thing. I don't know why it wasn't shutting down right. But I don't like that KDE. That new, the one that everybody said they hated, I actually liked it better. I think it was Plasma, and I think they still call it KDE Plasma, but this is like 3 versions up from the one that I like. I don't like that one at all. Well, that's what we're here to find out. Okay, so I'm going to go into settings. Now, let's go to the one that and go to storage, and then you can, and then click on the last one that you had in there, and this is your IDE controller for your CD drive, your ISOs that you download. I didn't show that first, but I'll show that at some point. I don't know if I'll get to it in this video, but I'm going to make a video of actually installing, what I install, and setting it up on I'll show you where to. I've already downloaded the ISOs, but I'll show you how to go get them, and how to put them on a USB stick, and that's what I'm using instead of a CD, because I don't want to waste CDs. You can rewrite most of my CDs aren't rewritable, and actually rewritable CDs don't boot in all machines real well either. So, but the USB sticks are, on the newer machines it'll boot to USB. That's the way to go. So, and most of these ISOs you can just download the ISO. You don't have to download any tar-gz zip file and stuff. You don't have to do any complicated stuff. Just download the ISO, and then use with Fedora you can use Fedora Media Writer, or with like Debian and stuff you can usually use like UNet Booting and stuff like that. So graphic apps, So anyway, I'm going to choose another ISO. This is the one this is the drive. This is my actual CD drive. Well, no, I'm sorry. It's not my actual CD drive. It's my, oh, that is my actual CD drive. If I wanted to use it, I would select it like I just did when I wasn't. See, now it doesn't say Fedora anymore. You could actually put if you had something bootable on a CD, you could put it in there and boot it. I've done it, or at least I think this version is set up to do that. I've done it in Fedora 14. I used to do it all the time, but not all the time, but anytime I wanted to. Oh, here's some of the recent ones I've done: Fedora Games, Fedora Design Suite. Okay, that's not any of the ones I want to get. Let's go here. Fedora 27. I've already downloaded all these Fedora 27 ISOs. Well, it's Design Suite, Atomic. That's their new one with all kinds of. I'm not going to do it, but I was going to see. I was trying to say what. Oh, it doesn't have any ISOs. It's a lot more complicated. It's a big learning curve for me, but it's pretty cool. The thing I would like about it is it'd be great for a server. It's got a lot of, I keep wanting to say virtual machines, but it's Docker. It runs Docker, if you've heard of Docker. And it's somewhat similar to virtual machines. Everything, all your apps, you can run the other operating systems. You can run your apps in what do they call them? Appliances? No, not appliances. I can't remember the right word, but anyway, it's somewhat similar to virtual machines. I've watched a bunch of videos explaining how it works recently, but they call it something else. I've been kind of following it along for the last couple of years, but I haven't got into it because it was early in its development and it was really complicated to get it going. You still can't just boot up an ISO. You have to. Nothing's showing because I know there's files in there, but you can't see them because they're not ISOs. See any kind of virtual optical disk file. Let's see. If I say all files, you can see them. Yeah, I have a VDI in there, and I don't remember that is a virtual box bootable image. That's like a whole. That's not just the ISO of an operating system, but bootable operating system. It is the virtual machine. It's the hard drive size. The operating system. It's everything. And you have to do a bunch to get it to work. You have to do stuff with this file here, and I don't remember what all you had to do. But let's go back, and then you can just do DMGs or RAW or optical disk. Optical disk are ISOs and things that would boot in an optical disk in a CD DVD drive, CD or DVD drive. Let's see, Fedora Server, which is I got Fedora Server 23 on my server, right, and I need to upgrade it. That's x86-64 won't run on mine, but I think there's one that will. Yeah, they have. I thought they were going to quit making it, but there it is right there, i386. That'll run on my machine. Then there's a XFCE 64, which I may have to put on mom's machine if it won't run. Mate Comp that's the one I want to try now. If I'm going to put it on a USB, I'm just going to boot it here to the virtual machine, but I'm going to put this, I see you've got it in there now, and I'll leave, all my standard settings of the same. And let's see, we'll refresh my memory about what it looks like. Okay, now I'm going to use my keyboard and hit enter. Let's see if it runs any better. If it uses any less resources in the virtual box. That's one good thing about doing that. You can get a good idea what it's going to be like before you even waste your time putting it on a USB. But I'm going to put it on a USB stick and see how it runs on her machine, and if I think I want to go through all the work of setting up a whole new system for her on there. I'll be able to tell quite a bit by putting it on a USB stick. It's funny though, it seems, I swear systems run faster on a live USB image than they do when you install them on the hard drive. They seem to use less resources that way. I don't know if that's true, but it seems like it. So I'm checking my stream right quick. I still just don't get. Okay, as I was sitting there looking at, all I could see, I could hear me talking, but all I could see was a black screen. I was like, I hope something's not messed up. It was just that was in the middle of that booting up there. And these little these little notes about your mouse and what it's going to do will stay up there until you close them. There's two of them that'll come up sometimes. Let's see. Oh, Control F. Yeah, and that makes it go to. I remembered that for a little while there. I kind of like the background they chose this time. They always chose, choose different backgrounds for Fedora, but that little blue jellyfish looking thing in the clouds must be in space. It doesn't look like it's in the water unless it's off of dirty water. So this is, of course, just like this is Mate. This is like what I use. Yeah, this is faster. And if the machine would run good, then this is what I would want. And one of the main reasons, well, of course, I'm completely used to it. She doesn't know the difference. She doesn't get into the maintenance in the back end or setting things up. She doesn't know how. But I've got, let's see, what do I have her using now? Oh, she's using Mate. But whenever I start using, I've gotten more use. I figured out how to set up XFCE to look like Mate, but it's still a lot of things that are missing and a lot of things that work differently. And it always hangs me up and aggravates me in really working on a system. I've done that on some of my older machines because I wanted Fedora on them. I've used XFCE. It is quite a bit lighter weight, and I've got a Pentium 4 with Fedora 23 and XFCE, and that's the machine I did my recording of that cassette I was talking about. I used I set up my board to go into that machine, my VM, or coming out of my VM, going into the board from the cassette deck, and then going from the VM to that machine to do my recording, and it did a great job. But I did one time. I edited like a 1 or 2 hour video. Can't remember if it was 1 or 2 hours or what. I do remember it was 2 days and two. Well, now I don't remember exactly. 2 nights and 2.5 days or something like that to render that video on that machine, and I had to leave it running that whole time and hope that the power didn't go. Sometimes the power, we didn't have a storm at that time, and power, that'll knock out your power even if it's just for a minute, And that's the thing. Sometimes in the middle of a most beautiful warm day, all of a sudden the power will just blink here nowadays. It didn't used to happen just a few years ago. And of course, if that'll make your computers go off. I don't have any UPS battery backup. So this is, I'm not opening anything. I think I'm going to open something. The quickest thing to find out how well it'll run is just to open up the web browser. So I'll do that. I was really just interested to see when I had that other one in there that I showed first with the I wanted to see what all was on the newest Fedora Jam audio video remix. Now this is I guess they call this a remix too, or a spin. They call it a spin, I think. They keep going around. They call them one year they call them a spin, and next year they call them a remix. I don't know what they're calling them now, but you see that doesn't switch. It's not even responding right now. So it's giving it plenty to do. I don't guess it's because I need to say skip this step. No, see, nothing's happening. Let's try to close that window. Yeah, see that? Just opening up Firefox is just... Sorry. It never fails that I get all allergied up right when I want to start making a video. I tried to prepare by taking my allergy medicine at the right time before I start and everything, but it never works. So, yeah, it's not even responding. So now in the virtual machine, that's that's to be expected because I can only give it, I've got 4 gig of RAM on this machine, and I'm actually making a video right now. So let's see if I can close that browser. Let's see, Control. Oh, I think Control F goes. Yeah, it goes. Well, that didn't do. That was trying to save something, or that didn't do. There. I guess for a moment there it was on my machine. It's going kind of crazy. It doesn't know what machine to be on. I think my virtual machine is trying to lock up, so I'm going to close it before it messes up my main machine. But that was too much for it. Yeah, look there. Just barely got a look at that, but that was about 1.3 gig of memory. I have 4 gig on this machine. Well, and 256 megabyte goes to its video memory, and then I'm not seeing the OBS Studio is really good. It doesn't even right now. It's only using 495 megabytes, 483 actually. I just kind of always round it off by looking at the kilobytes, and then I wish they would just put the megabytes in there instead of the kilobytes. Nobody thinks in kilobytes anymore. Not since the days of DOS and Windows 3.1, and even I started learning on Windows 3.1, and everything was already going by megabytes then. You know, anything. I mean, there was plenty of things that were under a megabyte. You needed to know bytes and kilobytes, you know, but at least to understand them a little bit. But it's just silly, you know. 4,000. I can't even say it. That many kilobytes. Just say 483 megabytes. That's what they should be reading out up there, not K. So I am in the crankiest mood tonight. I don't have a clue why. I just don't like anything. Okay, where was I? So there you go. It's all fine and dandy until I opened up Firefox in my virtual machine. But remember, I'm running on gigabyte of memory and 32 megabytes of video, on 1024 megabytes of RAM, borrowed from the host machine that I'm, you know, with. Well, I keep thinking. Let's see what. Again, sorry. Okay. I can't even talk because it just chokes me up. Okay. If I take a allergy pill, what it'll always do is make it worse before it makes it better. And so I hate to do that. Sometimes when I'm having trouble with cough, I'm not coughing. I mean, I'm coughing, but I'm coughing because of drainage. But when I'm coughing because my throat's getting sore and raspy, then I take a cough drop, and that kind of does open up my head a little bit too. So I don't know. Maybe that's the only thing that would really be of much help right now. Okay, maybe I'll do that here in a second. Let's get another Fedora before we go off. Is there another one? Oh yeah, XFCE. Let's see how XFCE does in comparison. This is why, let's see, what else do I have? The games. Oh, I never play games really, but I just think it's so neat, and I always have to look at them, try them out. Server Jam is the one I started with. Live security is pretty interesting. It's usually XFCE, and then it has all kinds of security apps and penetration testing and all that stuff. Okay, so yeah, I want to do XFCE next, and we'll just in the virtual box with very limited. This is like I think a gigabyte of memory is less than they even say that it can run on. Really, I think the minimum might be 1.5 gig or something now. So don't think that it's like a resource hog because it basically hung up when I opened Firefox. It's not because of. It's because of I just don't want to give more to the virtual machine, and especially while I have done this before. I know I can get by with making a video, desktop video, as long as I don't be careful about all the stuff I use. think I'm gonna. Well, I think I'll try a cough drop. If I can tell I need another. It's not an allergy pill. It's a cold pill. I can tell I need one, but I also hate to take it and then have to wait till it finishes booting up. You can't get my mouse to go up there and click on those things. There we go. I'm gonna go get one while this is booting up. It's almost there. Oh, it's there. That didn't take long. Well, I have my cough drop. Go ahead and take it. Okay. Oh, we're down to minus 8:43 minutes. I'm still wondering what the heck if that actually means something. What's going on with that? We're fixing to find out. Okay, now we'll be full screen. And this one has a different resolution. It's not filling the whole screen. It's kind of weird. Just letting them do whatever they do by default. There's the update notice right there. I guess it's installed by default. Usually when you hover over it, it'll tell you how many updates are available. Of course, I don't want to install them. There we go, 623 updates. What's that one? Well, it's got something to do with that, I guess. I'm going to get it. That's not either. That's presentation mode. That's got to do with Power Manager. And then there's your network. See, it gives it a 10.0.2.15. It gives it a 10 dot. But it'll get on the internet and everything. We'll go ahead and try. See, this is it's our XSVE comes like that with one at the top. See, your workspaces, I call them desktops, are up here. I always like them down at the bottom. But most of the apps that come with them are usually a little different. But I just, it's not a big deal. You just install what you want. XFCE uses DNF Dragora. I don't know that Mate does. I think maybe it uses. I don't know if it uses Yum. I think it uses. I don't know. I can't remember. I'll have to look. I didn't pay attention. There's Firefox. I'll probably go ahead and open it up. But first, I want to see what's in there. And it doesn't have. I didn't mention that before, but LibreOffice was on May. It comes with it. The only word processor besides a text editor is AbiWord, and it's okay, but it's nothing like lightweight. Well, I guess. I mean, I always had trouble with it crashing and stuff. I don't know if it still does that. Where'd it go? I lost it. There we go. AbiWord. I always had trouble with it crashing, and it's. I don't know if it can handle Microsoft doc files and stuff or not. I know other apps can't handle AbiWord's files. Well, you have to convert them or something. If it has bulk rename, I really like that. I don't know if it comes with. I don't think it comes with Crusader, my favorite file manager. Let's go down here and see. It has this little bitty short. That's the thing I always have trouble remembering how to do, making this spread out and making it the way I want it. Usually I just take this out altogether and start over and just right click and say add, not add new items, but you want to add a new panel and add one down there. Or you can just work on this one. This is a panel down here too. But there's this desktop search. I like it to be big enough to read it, so I always make it full screen. Yeah, Crusader's not in there. So for files, you got bulk rename, catfish file search, color profile viewer. That file manager. It's got Thunar. What's this one? Exo file manager. So I imagine it's the default, but it does have Thunar as well. I don't know which one's the default actually, but those are like the Windows Explorer style file managers. I don't like them. I don't use them unless I have to. But I'm gonna go ahead and open up Firefox. It has two web browsers, I think. No, I think that's Firefox too. I don't know why it always does it. It always has regular Firefox. If it has Firefox on there, it'll have the regular Firefox icon and then this blue world icon, but I think it just opens up Firefox. Let's see if it can run Firefox without shutting down, making the virtual machine run out of memory. I think that's what happened in the Mate desktop. I think it ran out of memory. Not sure because I had to get it closed quick before it locked me up. I'm going to get out of that full screen right now. If I can go over here and look. Yeah, see, it's already using 1.1 gig and 26% of my CPUs, my 4 cores. I don't think I'll be able to really use Firefox in here either. See, it's not loading whatever page is trying to load well. It's slowly climbing, looks like. I forgot what it said a minute ago, but I think it was quite a bit less than 165. So I'm going to close it. I'm pretty sure it won't. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't even want to close. But oh, I've only got. I'm still worried that my live stream's going to quit when it gets down to 0. I just don't know what's going on. I mean, for all I know, I didn't change any settings, period. Unless something happened in OBS Studio, but I don't think you could do that. You can do a lot in OBS Studio, but I don't think you could say, oh, well, I guess you could say stop recording it after so long, but I don't think so. And I've never seen anything like that in... I'm looking over. I can't show it to you because I don't even have a camera aimed at the laptop or anything. But I'm reloading it. It goes completely to 0 while you're reloading. And but I'm still on. I just make sure I don't get cut off. And my web browser, it kept trying to load that page. See, it won't let me close the web browser. It's still sitting there saying waiting for data from, I don't know if it's trying to open up 2 pages or 1. It might be trying to open up 2. Now, when that happens, I keep that shortcut right there. This is on my regular, my Mate desktop for my host machine, but you can click that and then click on what's not responding, and it'll force shut it down. If I did that on here, it would shut down VirtualBox. And I don't actually need to do that. Because I can still just power off the machine. But that's what I'm going to do. Now, there's not much else to see in there. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Debian now. I haven't tried out any Debian 9. I think maybe one. I had a pre-release. I might have tried it out. Now we're at 30 minus 0.00034. 31 seconds. I still don't know what's going to happen. I can't concentrate to do what I'm doing. Let's see if anything happens to my live stream. I'm just going to go ahead and hit the reload and make sure it's going to be where I'm at, if I can find the reload button. I shouldn't have done that because that makes it go to 0. I can't see the countdown. Let's see if I'm going to still be streaming whenever that. Oh, now I think it's positive numbers. I think there's just a bug in the counter now. Yeah, now it's going up. It counted down from an hour to 0, and now it's going back up. Of course, that I assuming that's probably an accurate time. So I guess I'm an hour and 24 5 seconds now. So I didn't get cut off or anything. That was what I mean, you never know. These big web outfits, they change things. They don't call and ask me, and they'll do stuff. And if I don't happen to find out about it, and I might get a bad surprise. That's just. I think there's a bug in the counter. Um, should have shown it on the video. I didn't think about it. I could have shown it. I could have opened up the web browser over here on the machine I'm streaming from. But let's see. So I want to change from any of the Fedora distros. Now we'll go over here and try yesterday I think it was. I downloaded all the Debian 9s that I have Debian 8 on the laptop, both laptops, the Dell 6000 and Dell 1525. And that Dell 6000 is only, I'm running, I think I'm running 871 on it. Right there. Yeah, I think that's what is on it. I guess I could look and see, but it's not that big a deal. But anyway, it does pretty well. I mean, I'm able to use it to monitor my live stream, and I can leave the web browser open for, as long as it's not playing, I can leave it for a pretty good while. I usually go ahead and shut it ever so often, because if it runs for like an hour or two, I'll shut it now. If it sits there just running for about an hour or two on the YouTube page, and all machines can't run a long time on that YouTube admin page, it'll start using up all the memory and CPU and both. So if I just close the browser and then open it back up every once and later, it'll be all right. After it clears out the cache and everything, the memory, cleans up the memory and all that. Okay, so Debian 9, I downloaded. It's at 9.4 to 9.4.0. I've got i386, which I thought they were going to quit supporting 386 machines, but there it was. I saw the release the day that I downloaded it. I went and saw that first because it's in my links. I got to looking at the notice, and it mentions certain exact well, I thought the cough drop was helping, and now all of a sudden it's all of a sudden I'm worse. Now that I'm just about done with my cough drop. At least I'm not on the lapel mic. You can't get away from that thing. It's pinned to my shirt. Okay, so anyway, we got i386, which is what I would, that's all that the Dell 6000 would run. The Dell 1525, I think, yeah, it's 64-bit. It'll run either one. I've run both 32 and 64-bit operating systems on it. Well, I think I should have went and got that pill 10 minutes ago or 20. Well, it's been an hour since I started. I should have got first sign of trouble. It would have been better by now. I'm gonna have to go get one, but let me go ahead and pick one of these, get it booting up. Net install. That won't boot a live operating system. You just install from it. It's that same with that one. This one, yeah, I think that'll boot alive. And that's XSCE. That's a 64-bit. That's the one I have tried. I think it's just an install, though. Yeah, it is. So I haven't even seen. Debian 9. Well, I think I have seen it in someone else's video. I'm going to boot it and go get my pill while it's booting. So I won't be talking while it's booting. or coughing. This one's different. Wait, it may be just an install. I think it is. Yeah, it is. It's not a live system. I guess you have to get the DVD. So I guess I'll just be showing the install. Okay, let me go get my pill. Alright, well, I took it. I'm getting to where I guess I should take a break, and maybe this will get a little better when I come back. Come back, or take a break long enough for this to get a little better, maybe. I think what I want to do, I'll go ahead and go through this a little bit. I'm just hitting the keyboard enter. Of course, if you're in America, then you can just keep hitting enter until you get to something you have to actually, do something. Now, I could install this on my virtual machine. I don't remember what I have installed on there. I've got something installed in this machine, this virtual machine. You can either install something into it, or you can just boot ISOs like I've been doing. I probably installed something at some point. Now here's where you have to start setting things up. Debian's pretty quick, and if you just read the instructions, it's not hard to install. And Fedora, well, I mean, either one of them aren't too hard, but Fedora sometimes will change the way they did it in the last few years, and so you really I have to pay attention because things are different. I have to pay attention from what I'm used to. I got hung up several times because I kept trying to do it the old way. Hang on. Okay, well, so since I can't hardly even talk right now, I guess I'll take a break. And on here, on Fedora, there's a quit. On here, there's just a go back or continue. And I swear, there's been times when I wanted to take a screenshot with that screenshot button there, but it seems like it locks up. Even on a real machine, it seems like it locks it up when you try to take a screenshot. So I don't know. Maybe it will work, and I just don't want to wait long enough, or I don't know what. See, there's those notices about your mouse. But what you can do is, if you're on a machine and you say, "Well, I don't want to install," and you haven't done anything to the hard drive, then you can just hard shut it down. Or up here, you can just click to power off the machine, hard shut down. That's what that is. So let's see what's in the, see if I have anything in the, before I go to storage. Now I'm going to put this on the host drive, and there's nothing in there, so it won't try to boot to it. That's how you get it to quit trying to boot to your host drive. And it doesn't tell you in here, I don't think. It just tells you the name of your virtual machine, and I named it Linux Test VM. So if there is something installed in there, it'll try to boot to it. Otherwise, it'll give an error and say there's nothing to. I could not read from the boot medium, so I don't have anything installed in there. If I wanted to, I could, but it's not much. I don't really have a anything I want to install and use it in the VM. My machine's just powerful enough to run a VM, but not for real work, you know. Except for you might have seen that WinXP Pro. I can run that, and I can get by, you know, and do some basic stuff in WinXP. And since it's actually, I've got this works good, but it's almost full. I can't install anything else, and I kind of been wanting to lately, needing to. And the Dell 6000 laptop actually has XP. It's a dual boot machine, Domain 8 and WinXP, but the XP is screwed up, and I've scanned it several times. Doesn't show to have any viruses, but it won't run well enough to use it. There's something really wrong, and it must have some kind of tricky. Either it's got some broken apps on it, or it's got a tricky Trojan that you know, Avast and malware bots can't find. I haven't done any. I don't remember if I booted it to a live cleanup, you know, virus scanner or not. I think I did, but anyway, I haven't had time to mess with that. I had 3 Windows 7 systems, and they all got infected around the same time there. In the same something, I think I opened up something on one of them that was a network virus, and it got them all. But okay, so I'm gonna go and I'll come back after a break, and I think I may go ahead and I don't know if I need to do that or not. I want to see Domain 9 running, so I'll have to download a live image. I thought those CDs I had gotten were live images, but they're not. They're installs. So I think I'll do that because I don't want to just install Domain and just to see if I like it, unless I did it in the virtual machine. But that's at least 20 minutes, and so if I can find a live image, I'll do that. If it doesn't take, could easily spend 20 minutes downloading it and get ready to try it out. But anyway, we'll see. So I'm going to go because I'm still just in terrible shape. Can't hardly talk. But, all right. Hopefully I'll be able to come back in a little while because I'm really wanting to do this today. Okay, it's done. I'll come back and do more of this later when I can. Bye-bye.